I don't like being that guy that when I get a pick right, that's like, oh, look at me, I know so much ball. Like, I knew it. Like, come on, that was too easy. But I'm going to do that a little bit here with the Boston Celtics when I said they were going to win in 5 after Miami shot the lights out of the ball in game 2, and I just knew that was not sustainable. And sure enough, I was right. Boston, once again, looked like the most dominant team here in the NBA. But like I said, while I do get some stuff right, there's a lot of stuff I get wrong. But every day here on Layup Lines, the NBA bets, predictions, recap show here on the Bandwagon Sports YouTube channel, I do just that. I make picks, I recap the games. That's what we're going to do. We're going to recap tonight's 2 games and 2 of the games from yesterday, and then give picks for game 6s tomorrow night. So let's start there with that Boston Celtics Miami Heat game 5 here in Boston tonight. And like I said, the Celtics just ran away, never trailed in the game, and won 118-84. Big blowout for them, winning by 37 points there. That's 34 points, but they led by as much as 37. And like I mentioned, Miami in game 2, they shot over 50% from 3. You're not going to lose a lot of games when you shoot that well. Today, they only shot 3 of 29 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Boston shot 16 of 40. Boston also just dominated on the boards, 59-26. I mean, they're just a better team. They can shoot the ball. They are physical. They just care. They like the ball more. I mean, there was a quote just saying, maybe not completely true, but just like how Peyton Pritchard, just every guy on the Celtics roster, they care, they play hard, they want to win every game. They do the little things, they put in that extra effort. And maybe there's some guys on Miami that just, they don't do that to the same extent. Going through the box score here, another great game from DaRock White. 25 points for him. Him and Jaylen Brown led the way with 25 points each. Jason Tatum had 16 points and 12 rebounds himself. So, the key guys stepped up. Sam Hauser, once again, 17 points, 5 of 8 shooting from beyond the arc off the bench again. So when you get guys like that shooting the ball really well, like I said, Pritchard plus 19 off the bench, 27 minutes for him. Luke Cornett, he's had to play a little bit more, step up. And he's plus 21 tonight as well. Only 2 points. But that's what I'm just saying. Like, these guys, they contribute in a lot more ways than just scoring the ball. They play a lot of really good defense. They made Miami work for everything. Looking at the Heat here, they're led by Bam, 23 points from him, but only 5 boards, 6 assists. He's a minus 32. Caleb Martin, minus 35. Tyler Hero, minus 28, 15 points for him. But yeah, 1 of 8 from beyond the arc for Hero, 6 of 19 from the floor. Bam, like I said, 23 points, but took 26 shots. Like, Boston just played such good defense. They made everything tough, and shots were not driving for Miami. No Jimmy Butler, they never stood a chance. But even with Jimmy Butler, I really think the Celtics would have won this series in 6 games. No, I don't even think it goes 7. I think they win it in 6 games, maybe even still 5. Just Boston, they've been the best team in the league all year record-wise. 64 wins in the regular season here. Now, 5 games, win 4 out of 5 here in the playoffs, round 1. Just dominated far and for your opponent, Miami. And, this Cavs Magic series, it's going to be a good one here. It's going on the wire, but I think whoever wins that, Boston should really have no problem with them. Really, the only team I'm worried about if I'm Boston is, whoever wins this Philadelphia and Knicks series. I think they can beat everyone else easily. Maybe the Bucks, I really don't think the Bucks pose a threat if they somehow do get through Indiana and then, would beat those 2 teams. I highly doubt that happens, but for me, like I said, Boston, I think, set over under 3.5 wins for them, or 3.5 losses before the finals. And like I said, I'm still probably taking that under. I think 3 games, maybe they lose 1 each series, or maybe I said at 4.5, and maybe they'll go to 6 in the conference finals. But 1 and 5 here, I would be very surprised if it takes more than 5 games next round, and I highly doubt it takes more than 6 games in the conference finals, probably 5 again as well. So Boston, good win for them. And if guys like DaRock White are playing like that and they're getting all that bench contribution, it's going to be hard to beat them. And obviously, like I'm saying, I don't think anyone's going to before the finals. Then we're going to move on here to the other game tonight, going out west. We had another blowout, 2 kind of snoozers tonight a little bit. You would have thought tonight was the night I fell asleep on you guys, not last night, considering we actually did have a good game last night in that Knicks Sixers one that we'll get to next. But the Mavericks, they go on the road to what could be the final Clippers game in Staples Center. They win 123-93. Luka with a great game, a near triple-double for him, 35 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Really impressive considering, he said his knee was bugging him. He's feeling on it, like he's battling through. I'm sorry, it was 10 assists, 7 rebounds. I wrote that down incorrectly. Plus 28 for him. Kyrie, really good game for him. Plus 35, 14 points. But the Mavericks, another team, like they were playing good defense. Like Kyrie had this really nice like steal that turned to an and one. Like the Mavericks like dug deep. They made the little plays. They made hustle plays. Maxi Kleber off the bench. 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. All his points, 15 points, was playing some good D as well. Derek Lively, 25 minutes off the bench, plus 24. Really good defender as well. No Kawhi, obviously hurts the Clippers. But I don't know. I kind of like thought some of the games without Kawhi, they've played better. What else I have written down here? I mean, it was mainly just like I said, such a good defense from the Mavericks. They held the Clippers to 37% shooting from the field and only 25% shooting from three. And I mean, yeah, the Clippers' leading scorer was Paul George with 15 points. 15 points from Paul George and Ivica Zubac. That was their leading scorer. James Harden, horrible game. 7 points on 2 of 12 shooting, minus 25. Like, they really just did not have their key guys step up. They got shut down. They got clamped. And it was probably the biggest game of the season. Pivotal game 5. It's whoever wins the game 5, I want to say, or maybe this is the NHL stat. I was confused. It's like 79% of the time the game 5 winner wins the series. And especially now with Dallas, they went on the road. Now they're heading back home. They're another team. Right now they're doing kind of like the little things. And I think they could give OKC a series. Do I think they could beat the winner of Minnesota and Denver? I don't know. I'm not so sure. Denver handled them pretty well last year, but I mean, we'll have to see. Don't get ahead of ourselves. This series isn't over quite yet, but I mean, if we get another game like that from Luka, despite him not being fully healthy, and like Kyrie, like he only shot 1 of 7 from beyond the arc tonight. Like I said, only 14 points for him. Not really a big game for him. It was mainly just Luka scoring offensively. Like there was some other guys, like I said, Kleber with those big threes. Lively had 12 off the bench, as well. So, I think like the Mavericks could be even better offensively than they were today. So that just makes it hard for me to think that the Clippers are gonna switch the tide here and knock them off. So game 6 is on Friday at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN, and Dallas is currently an 8.5 point favorite. See, like originally, like I'm kind of saying like, 8.5 points for like an elimination game, like that seems really high. I don't know if I'd take that, but like they just won by 30 tonight. Like 8.5 is nothing compared to that. So like I think for sure I'm gonna go Dallas to win. Maybe then you do a little same game parlay if you don't feel confident taking that 8.5. Maybe just take Luka's points or something like that, because like I said, he's been their main offensive weapon despite not being a fully healthy, fully 100% with his knee and the sickness. But he's a dog. I mean, he's one of those guys. He wants to win, so he's gonna go hard. He's gonna have a good game. Game 6, I think he plays well, wraps it up. I think Mavs go on win in 6. They play OKC here in the second round. Then we'll go here to some of yesterday's games. Like I said, my apologies. Busy week at work, like I mentioned in Tuesday's video. So I fell asleep. I'm going to be honest, I fell asleep. Like I was like half asleep watching the end of like the Bucks-Pacers game. The NHL game that was on late was like kind of a snoozer too, if I remember correctly. I don't know, I might be remembering incorrectly. Or no, I'm sorry. Singing the Jets-Avalanche. Like the Jets, don't get me started. Sorry, this is an NBA video. You probably don't care, but Winnipeg Jets, absolute collapse. I'm going to do some NHL talk soon. I know I keep saying that, but I actually am going to. I'm like planning the video currently. The one game, not a snoozer yesterday, that their game 6 is here on Thursday. But first we're going to go with game 5. Philadelphia 76ers go into Madison Square Garden, win 112-106 over the Knicks in overtime, extend the series. It's now 3-2 heading back to Philadelphia here on Thursday. And this was the Tyrese Maxey game. This will go down as the Tyrese Maxey game. He scores 46 points, including 7 points in the last 25 seconds. It was almost reverse game 2. Like game 2, it looked like Philadelphia like had it in the bag. The game was over. The 76ers had won. And then the Knicks, they come back, hit some big shots. They get that steal, hit a couple threes. Well, that's essentially what Maxey did. The Sixers are down 6. Maxey gets a 4-point play, hits a 3, draws foul. Then, after a Josh Hart misses free throw, he goes 1 of 2 from the line. Tyrese Maxey then hits like a logo 3. Granted, it's one of those, the Knicks had their City Edition court, so like long logo. But like well beyond the 3-point line and from, in the middle. So deepest part of the 3-point line. Drains a 3. The Sixers then go on to win in overtime because that 3 tied the game, forced overtime. And it was Tyrese Maxey. He's a star. People maybe thought, trading James Harden, is that a good idea for the Sixers? It was. They can build behind Tyrese Maxey. He can be their second star. Him and Embiid, I think, are going to be a really good duo. It's just going to be a matter, can Embiid stay healthy? He still is not a fully 100%, but just like when he's on the floor compared to when he's not. Let me look this up. So he was plus 14 yesterday. Forget the exact stat, but it's just like the 76ers get outscored by so much when Embiid is not on the floor. And they're not deep. Like, they only played 8 guys here. And really, outside of Batum, none of these other, like, Paul Reed played 4 minutes and Cam Payne played 14. So it was literally 33 from Batum. Tyrese Maxey had 52 minutes played. He literally played just about the whole game. I think he honestly probably might have, because that would be 53 minutes plus overtime. So yeah, Tobias Harris was clowning him last video. 49 points for him. He was 49 minutes for him with 19 points. He was plus 11, 8 rebounds as well. So he actually kind of stepped up when it was time. And yeah, it's the Maxey, it's the Embiid show. Some of these other guys played okay around him. Like I said, Tobias Harris stepped up. So that's really just what it is. Like, can the Sixers keep Embiid on the floor? Can they keep him healthy? And can they just be at bay when he's not on the floor? Jalen Brunson did lead the way for the Knicks. He had 40 points. Another just great game from him. He's just emerging into such a star in the NBA. I love to see it. I watched him play in high school, and, he was a good player. Obviously won the National Player of the Year at Villanova his junior year before going to the draft. But, second-round pick, wasn't really much in Dallas, and he has just flourished here in New York. It's been a lot of fun to watch. He's a dog. He gets buckets every game. He's another one of those guys who just wants to win. Josh Hart, 18 points for him, but not a great shooting game. 1 of 6 from three, took 17 shots as a whole. 9 rebounds again. So, he's scrapping on the boards. But yeah, like I said, his missed free throws and just the Knicks' missed free throws as a whole is kind of what cost them this game. They only shot 67% from the line. That's not acceptable. Like I said, Josh Hart makes that free throw. Maxey's 3 just cuts it to a 1-point lead. Like, the Knicks probably still win this game. So that's why you got to practice your free throws. Make your free throws, kids. Here we have Thursday, like I said, Game 6 in Philly. Late start here, 9 Eastern on TNT. It's the second game of the doubleheader, and Philly's a 3.5-point favorite. This is what I'm split on, and it's almost like I want the series to go 7. I'm cheering for the Knicks. Like I said, I like Jalen Brunson. I'm a big fan of him, and I don't know. I've just never been I just don't like Philly sports. I don't like their fans. And they're fake fans in Game 4. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was loud for the Knicks in Game 4. It sounds like they're trying to change that. Like, they've bought a bunch of tickets, giving it to like first responders, medical workers. So that's really cool. Good move there by the Sixers. 3.5. It's so tight for me, but honestly, I don't know. I just have such a memory in my mind. Like, Philly always just chokes in the playoffs. Like, this is where they could turn the tides of the series. Here, even it up, force Game 7. I'm going Knicks. I think the Knicks take it tomorrow. I'm going to take the Knicks to win. I was wrong in Game... See, I thought the Knicks were ending in Game 5. I was wrong in that one. However, I was right on the Bucks on Wednesday. Tuesday. As the Bucks are 115-92 win over the Pacers here at home. Game 5. Forced Game 6 here on Thursday. That's going to be at 6:30 Eastern on TNT as well. We'll get to my pick for that in a sec. Let's go through Game 5 here first. What was the big difference? Another defensive game. The Bucks in the second and third quarters outscored the Pacers 64-36. Chris Middleton had 29 points, but also the guy that I said he needed to step up, he got ejected, and it was unacceptable in Game 4. Well, Bobby Portis stepped up with 29 points of his own. Patrick Beverley also had a good game. He had a 3 that was huge. He had 13 points. He was plus 36. He was just absolute grinder defensively. Bobby Portis plus 30. So these guys, the 2 scrappers there for the Bucks, they had a good game. They forced Indiana, into some tough shots. I believe who led the way for the Sixers? It was Tyrese Halliburton with 16 points. 16 points on 14 shots was the Pacers' leading scorer. Siakam, 12 points on 12 shots. Nembhard, same thing, 12 points on 12 shots. Nembhard 0 of 2 from 3. Siakam 1 of 4. There was no easy shots for Indiana. The Bucks swarmed him defensively, and that's what you have to do when you're missing your 2 stars, Dame and Giannis. Your 2 best players, they're out. And like I said, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis really stepped up. Big games from them. Pat Bev, really good game defensively. Pat Connaughton also had a good game off the bench. He had 9 points, but gave him 32 minutes, was plus 21 when he was on the floor. So we'll have to see if these Bucks guys can step up again, but also like the load may not have to be as big for them, as they're both Giannis and Dame are game time decisions for Game 6, which the Pacers once again 8.5-point favorites. This one for sure, that 8.5 is too high. I for sure would take the Bucks plus 8.5. But I think Indiana does win the game. I think they turn the tide in the series here, end it. I think Siakam has a better game. I think Halliburton has a better game at home. Home crowd, they're going to get behind them. They're going to will those guys to victory a little bit, and, you make it a little bit tougher here on the Bucks. And, like I said, you do want your star players to come back and play in these elimination games, but, like, we'll see. Like, if they're not full participants or, like, not fully healthy, it could actually really hurt more than it helps. Like I said, I've kind of seen that a couple of the games with Kawhi playing for the Clippers. Like, I think he's almost hurt them more than he's helped them. So I do think that the Pacers, they win tomorrow. It's going to be a close game, but I do think the Pacers win tomorrow, close out the Bucks. Disappointing end of the season for Milwaukee, especially second year in a row here, would be going out in the first round. I mean, we'll see. Not a done deal, but that's my prediction. And that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video, but make sure to like and subscribe. Also, please comment your picks down below. I really want to have more engaging comment section. That's what gets me to post every day. I love doing this. I love talking about these games, but I don't want to feel like I'm just talking at a wall, because that's what I'm doing right now. I want to be engaging with you guys in the comments. So if you're on YouTube, make sure to comment. Spotify, I believe, you can reply to the episode and let me know, your thoughts. It's also, make sure to rate the show 5 stars there on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.